As the Ashaman District Court has remanded Fix the Country convener Oliver Barker-Vormawor into custody over charge of treason. The court, presided by Eleanor Barnes, denied the accused bail, citing the nature of the offence, the court's jurisdiction. Again, the court, however, directed the police to allow maximum of 3 family members and lawyers accused between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily.
Prosecution led by DSP Asari approached the court to remand the accused person for his post on social media, which he said incited violence and overthrow of the government. Legal counsel for the accused, led by lawyer Akutu Ampao, told the court the police had defied his rights, having held him in custody for more than 48 hours without access to his family and lawyers. But the prosecutor told the court they had tried to reach out to the Chief Justice to get a court to hear the case over the weekend, but to no avail. The judge directed the police to allow the lawyers and family members of Oliver Barker-Vormawor, maximum 3 members, access from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. The case has been adjourned to February 28.
Now, as we know, the Ashaman District Court has remanded Fix the Country convener Oliver Barker-Vormawor into custody over the charge of treason felony. The court, presided by Eleanor Barnes, denied the accused bail, citing the nature of the offence of the court's jurisdiction. Again, the court, however, directed the police to allow a maximum of 3 family members and lawyers accused between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. Well, now my colleague Dennis Badam, he's with the News Planning and Research, joins me in the studio for some more insights on Oliver's arrest. Now, we're told that he's been charged with treason felony. What does that mean?
Well, so treason felony is one of the offences under the Criminal and Offences Act, Act 29, which is an offence against the safety of the state. Now, that particular offence is to the effect that a person is guilty of this offence and shall be punishable for a first-degree felony if the person A, prepares or endeavours to procure by unlawful means any alteration of the law or the policy of the government. B also states that if the person prepares or endeavours to carry out an unlawful means by enterprise which usurps the executive power of the state in any matter of public or of both a public and general nature. So that is the nature of the offence. It's quite different from treason, and it's different from a misprision treason.
Okay, we also understand that regarding the amount of time that he was remanded for over 48 hours. Is there a breach in that as well? So take us through when one is arrested. What are the procedures that the accused is taken through?
Well, so there's been a lot of conversation over the weekend regarding whether or not the arrest was lawful or unlawful, and if it was in line with law. When you look at the constitutional provision, especially those that regarding human rights and with respect to rights of arrested persons, you realize that under Article 14 of the 1992 Constitution, specifically 14(3), you would notice that a person who is arrested or restricted or detained, and for purposes of these court actions, is required to be brought before a court of competent jurisdiction within 48 hours. But when you do the calculation, you notice that he was arrested Friday evening and then he's brought before court on a Monday. That in itself means that it's more than 48 hours. Now, the court also makes, the provision also makes the statement that if for any reason the person is going to be held beyond 48 hours, the person shall be released either unconditionally or on reasonable conditions. These reasonable conditions would, for instance, maybe bail and those kind of things. So yes, if you look at it within that context, it may seem that the police have not worked within the confines of this provision. But of course, there's a remedy when you go further to read the clause 5 of that same provision, where it provides that for someone who alleges that he has been detained unlawfully or has been restricted unlawfully, there's some sort of compensation for that person if an action is taken.
So what is the compensation in this regard?
Well, so that would mean that he has to sue the state for that to happen. But we haven't gotten there yet. We are still at a point where he's been detained. It's just conversation that it may have been an illegal detention, but we are not there yet.
Okay, he again has been denied bail. So in this case, what is the way forward for him?
Well, so before I even answer that one, let me also state that it's a settled matter that when the law says within 48 hours, there had been some contention about it as to whether weekends are included or not. Martin Kpebu went to the Supreme Court for interpretation, and the Supreme Court stated, and if you permit me, this is a ruling by former Chief Justice Sophia Akufo. Now she says that within 48 hours in Article 14.3 of the Constitution includes all public holidays, weekends, periods of strike action or civil unrest, subject to reasonable assurance of the safety and security of judicial officers and staff. So the conversation about it was a weekend, they couldn't have put him before the court. This has been settled within the context of this case law. So yes, on a matter of bail, I mean, the bail can be appealed. So in the subsequent days, maybe if they deem it fit, there may be an appeal of that bail.
Okay.
But in the interim, he would have to be detained for the next line of action to be taken.
All right, thank you very much, my colleague, Dennis Wedam, giving us some updates or educating us on the law there. Now, the legal practitioner Martin Kpebu has condemned the manner in which Oliver Barker-Vormawor's rights have been abused in his arrest and arraignments before court.
We can complain ad nauseam about the shabby manner in which a fellow citizen has been treated. Matter of fact, that's putting it very lightly. The way his rights have been grossly abused. Three very big violations. Number one, when Oliver Barker-Vormawor was arrested on Friday evening, he was denied access to a lawyer from Friday evening throughout the night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, until Saturday evening around 6:30. That was when he was allowed to have access to his lawyers, Dr. Justice Sremsai and co. This is very shameful. This conduct has embarrassed us as a nation. What is it that Oliver was holding that, and even if he was holding anything at all, the constitutional right is that he must have immediate access to a lawyer. Roland, that is Article 14, Clause 2. So this is how it starts. Police can arrest, yes, Article 14, Clause 1 on suspicion. By any event, even the suspicion here is not well grounded, but we'll leave that for now. But Article 14, Clause 2 says that give him immediately, inform him about the charge, and immediately let him have access to his lawyer. You deny him that for more than 24 hours, and you expect us to clap for you? No, the police have embarrassed us. Number two, they were supposed to arraign him in court within 48 hours. The Supreme Court has opened the court for Saturdays, Sundays, public holidays. And I keep saying there's a decision to that. I took it to court, but of course, it's the Supreme Court that decided because they know that as part of our development, that is very, very necessary. Okay, access to the court, 365 days a year. That is what the Supreme Court has decided. Yet the police chose not to take him to court on Sunday. Then number three, the police chose to take him to a court which cannot grant him bail. He said, so that they're not taking him to court because one of the things is that you take him to court so that he can apply for bail